Hello, guys. This is Pest News coming in with the podcast first episode. This is my first year in Comp Smite, so I might be new on to talking about anything, and my voice is completely screwed for the first episode, so that's convenient. And I'm here with my co-host.
Hey, what's up? I'm J2Fricks. It's my second season here in the Animosity Division. I compete in Midgard, and we do have a special guest for our first episode. If he wants to introduce himself.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Double A here, the owner of the AASL.
So, Pest News, if you want to get started, just maybe explain a little bit about what we're doing here with the podcast, kind of the goals behind it. Take her away,
Yeah,
bud.
so we wanted to make this podcast to get a little bit more community involvement, and also because some people struggle to know what the results are if they're not constantly in it, and also the upcoming matches, big matches in the league. That is the basic premise of the show, and we're hoping that we can keep it in line. And we're going to have guests on from time to time to talk about big matchups and their experiences in the league.
Yeah, for sure. And the whole goal of it, we're not really associated with the league too much. I mean, we're not trying to be BM or anything, but some things that are said could just be our opinion. Nothing too crazy. Don't take nothing personal on here. Try to keep it as friendly as possible while we're here. Double A, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a cool podcast. Anytime we can get involved with the community and being able to talk about the games and making it feel even more kind of like the big leagues, I always really like. It's kind of what we strive for. So, how cool is it that somebody's talking about your game, next week, or how well you played last week, or how, your team didn't do well last week, but here's three great things you did. I think it's great. And then yeah, these are all just personal opinions. There's nothing official here by any means. Um, but they're still going to be kind of involved with the league, and I'm excited to see these guys, week after week, be talking about what's going on in the server.
Thank you. So basically, a little rundown too. We're gonna try to have this kind of posted for you guys. Gonna shoot for Monday. Might be late a day sometimes with lives and all that. So Mondays and Tuesdays, I'd say be expecting each week for a video to come out. Gonna run through the weekend review of what happened for matchups, obviously predictions for upcoming week. Sometimes have some guest appearances. And we had some ideas thrown out there of maybe taking questions if people want to send them to either me or Pest News through Discord. We can answer some funny questions or whatever for little segments on here. Maybe even if you want to submit some top plays, you could do that, be featured on the podcast for a little bit. And that's all optional. If you enjoy watching and want to see yourself on it, you can always do that. With that being said, I think we're ready to kind of get into this week.
And the big thing about that is Vanaheim and Asgard had an off week due to the ensuing tournament that's coming up for reseeding on both divisions, and which is going to be a very big thing in our week coming up section.
Yeah, Double A, do you want to explain kind of that tournament and the thoughts behind it, since you are the owner?
Of course, yeah. We did have a few teams drop out due to kind of their own personal issues, scheduling issues, all that kind of stuff, commitment issues. So kind of just looking to revamp the division. We decided to, or the two divisions there, we decided to go ahead and do this tournament. So basically, it's a weird format. It's kind of a Swiss format, but all it basically is the two top divisions teams are going to be playing each other. Their seeding for their first matchup is based on how they've done so far in the regular season, and so they're going to play in this tournament, and then from that they're going to um, be seeded in for the finals. So they'll either be seeded in the Vanaheim finals or the Asgard finals. So basically, if you're a Vanaheim team now and you do well, do like super well, beat a bunch of teams, you'll be playing in the Asgard finals. You kind of, or you can earn your spot there. The other side of that is if you're an Asgard team and you lose, I believe it's 3 games. If you lose 3 games, you get knocked down to the Vanaheim finals. So just kind of reseeding. Hopefully everyone kind of gets where they belong, and then we see what happens from there, going on to those finals.
Yeah,
So kind of like a play-in style, like with what the Pro League does and all that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, just kind of, we're just trying to. I mean, right now we've only got about 3 or 4 Asgard teams, so just trying to get them involved as well, while keeping it semi-balanced. Yeah, and we still want to have a great playoff. So, and I think this was a good way to do that.
yeah, it makes sense. Seems like it'll make both those divisions a little more competitive, especially for the playoffs coming up. So, sounds good.
Yeah.
Pest news, I know. So, head right into. We can start with Jotunheim for the previous week. You play in that division. If you want to run us
Yeah,
through that, go ahead.
just a disclaimer, I will have a little bit of a bias towards Vanguard. I am their solo laner. um, but to start it off, Alien Tuna forfeits to Helix Fallen due to player availability. They couldn't find a matchup weekend or weekday and just fell through. That does hit Alien Tuna because I do believe they were higher up than Helix Fallen in the standings. So that does move Helix Fallen up a little bit. Then there was Vanguard versus I thought this was an assault, and we have an interesting dynamic here because Double A, whilst being the owner, is also the support player for I thought this was assault. It was a 2-0 series set, even though the second game it did not feel like a 2-0 series set.
Yeah.
From solo lane. What were your thoughts on that? And then I can run on to what I think happened during those games.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Double
Yeah.
A.
All right, just making sure. Yeah, for sure. I think it was a really fun game. Like you said, didn't feel like it. Maybe you're just trying to make me feel better, but didn't feel like a 2-0. It was a fun match. I think we're kind of. I mean, obviously, you guys proved that maybe you're the better team there, but I think we're relatively close in skill level, so it was a fun match. Game 1 was a little way more in your favor, and game 2 was a lot closer, and it was fun. We got to try out our um, sub. We had a league sub step in, and then we picked him up afterwards. So we kind of got some chemistry there with him, and it was fun. I mean, it was a good match. I think, like I said, it could have went either way, and then that first match as well was really cool, just from the standpoint of we stole like 4 objectives, I think, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Always a fun feeling, you know.
No, it isn't.
As, as someone who was watching that set, it was definitely closer than I probably expected going into it. Just with the struggles that I thought this was Assault has had throughout the year, and I thought their solo laner Optinerve, who stepped in, actually played really well. So it was cool to see. Excited to see what they do
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. See if they can sneak into the playoffs, maybe upset some teams.
I hope so. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was fun seeing Optic Nerve get in there. Didn't have as strong of a game 1 as he did game 2. Game 2, he kind of almost kept us in it. But
Yeah, the Thanatos solo.
Yeah.
yeah, Thanatos solo tier jungle. It was quite the comp, but it worked out for us somewhat. So
Yeah.
Yeah, from my own experiences, that game 1, him and I had some good boxing and all that, and he wasn't really either him or I wasn't making too big of an impact. And then I felt just because I had the Osiris both games, I felt in the first game I had more of a team fight presence in the first game.
sure.
I don't remember exactly what he's playing. I'm trying to remember it. I know in
In
the
game 1,
yeah.
he was playing Nike.
Oh yeah, the Nike. And then I don't know. I think he did a weird build. I think he did a lot of damage into the build. So he was insta clearing lane.
Sure.
But once it got into the team fights, we kind of just blew him up. But man, that Thanatos game, it sucked in lane against him. Like you couldn't kill him because he would just heal, and you're sitting there like, oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
um,
right.
he got the first blood on me. I remember that. But again, just with that pick, Thanatos is so early focused. Like he was strong in lane, and then he was very strong in those mid game team fights, and then it just felt you would ult in that like that last engagement. The way we won it was just he ulted in, and we all saw him coming, and we're like, okay, we know exactly who he's. Oh, hold on a second. Need to take a drink.
Dang.
We knew exactly who he was going in for, and we're like, okay, the second he comes down, we all go on him, and he just
Right.
appeared in front of us, and from there we won it. But I will say our struggles are. It is quite clear securing objectives have been. I feel like we're all really good individual players, but the second you get us around those FGs and Gold Furies, we can start
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
pressure a bit.
Well, and you know what was funny was I was playing Sobek in the first match, and
Of course.
I believe, don't say of course, come on. Yeah, one of the few gods I can play well. But anyway, so I'm playing Sobek, and I believe, I don't know if the whole team just died or four of us died or something like that. But I was just coming up from being dead, and there was no one around me from my team. And you guys were on Fire Giant. I go, you guys ever seen a Sobek steal Fire Giant? And then about 30 seconds later, I did, and everyone freaked out. But you know,
Those
I
are
mean, they were fun matches. I'll say you're really annoying to play against in when team fight phase, especially when you're on Osiris. That was annoying, but you guys played well. I was impressed with your team a lot. I mean, you're strong, a strong opponent for sure.
Yeah. One thing I do say is we have improved quite a bit. Um, with our target selection, that is one thing that we struggled with earlier in the season, and we started really focusing on it, and it's helped us a bunch.
yeah.
Do you have any insights on that game there, J2?
Not really. You guys kind of touched on it. It was just fun to watch. A little frustrating to watch with all the objective steals. The Sobek one was probably the like most head scratching, but hey, it is what it is. But dude,
Mhm.
after double A got that one, I was like, well, Fagar's about to lose. Watch this. I was like, there's no way. But
Um, I think one thing I can say is I, I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, it was definitely you, like J2 and Cowboy that were on desk in one of our games, our first game that I played in. And I think he gave me the moniker, like he was just like, you know what, Pest is living up to his name. He's a pest in these team fights.
I think that was
And
Cowboy.
so, yeah, that was Cowboy against Helix Fallen.
Yeah,
And so I'm just glad that, this whole thing, yeah, he's kind of a pest in these team fights.
that's funny. All right, then the last game of the week for Jotunheim, moving on, was actually between the two top-ranked teams in the division as of right
Oh
now.
yeah,
Was Midgard Serpents. They 2-1 the Royals. It was a stream set. Pretty exciting to watch. Um,
I I think it was really big because everyone I talked to, including myself, my team, we were all like, okay, in our heads, Royals probably wins this. We're thinking because we lost to them, and we're thinking they're the top team in the division. And then when the Midgard won, we were like, oh my gosh, there's another team to compete with. Oh god.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but yeah, same thing for our team. I mean, Royals has been super strong, in my mind. So going into that, I thought, here's the two best teams.
right.
I think same thing. I think Royals is gonna squeak it out, get the win. But yeah, I mean, Midgard played awesome. Um, they just capitalized on everything that Royals did wrong. I mean, for the most part, and Cut Lip played, out of his mind
Yeah.
in a few of those games there.
Yeah, he
His
really did.
raw, his raw is a dangerous one to look out for.
You know he's yelling Kobe. every time.
Yeah.
He plays
Yeah.
Cuckoo and Raw, or was it Raw? Yeah,
Yeah, it was Raw
Raw.
twice and
Yeah,
Cuckoo in the
yeah,
Man
last
just
game.
wants to hit ultimates. Yeah.
yeah, he had a few heat checks there. I was like, ooh.
No, that was a fun set, and it'll be cool to see those teams hopefully meet up in the playoffs, whether that be finals, whether that be semifinals. It'd be cool to see them again.
Well, and then I think another big thing is the only team to take off a game against Royals was us.
Yeah.
And we had a struggling set against them.
Oh yeah, you did.
It took yeah. You watch that set again, yeah.
Yeah.
And seeing them play that, especially in that third game where they came back, you're like, oh, so even if you're winning against these guys, you can't count them out. They're in this game.
Yeah, I think here's the opinion section, but I think in my mind, yeah, the top three teams are Vanguard, Royals, and Midgard Serpents. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's kind of a mosh pit down there at the end between Housewives. I thought this was Assault, Alien Tuna, and Helix Fallen now. I mean, with that win, that'll help them get back up in the standings as well.
In my, I haven't. I think we still have to play Alien Tuna, if I'm correct. That's our next.
Let's see. You guys play
We play Midgard.
Midgard, and then you play Alien Tuna League set last week, yeah? Week 7.
I'm looking at this, and this is without Alien Tuna in mind, because again, we haven't played them. But I'm looking at the teams, and I'm thinking the fourth seed is going to be between. I thought this was Assault and Helix Housewives.
Yeah, and Housewives did beat us.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So
how does the playoffs works? Kind of the same as last season, right? Where it's the top 4 teams and there's a semifinal and a final. Would I be correct?
No.
Oh. So how do the playoffs work? Double A.
And I don't believe we've changed it because we did it again. Some teams being moved around and dropping out and everything. But I believe officially, unless it changes, officially it's top 6 teams. So technically, only one team gets cut.
Oh, that's
at the current moment.
That's gonna be rough for that one Jotunheim team that gets cut.
That makes this.
It'll make it fun to watch though, because I mean those games are gonna matter now these last couple weeks. Like that forfeit
is a big one to look out for Alien 2.
While we do this, I'll go ahead and check the rules to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's still the case.
Okay, well that's interesting then. I thought it was top 4, so if it's top 6, then it makes the playoffs a little longer, but makes it a little more exciting, I guess, to see maybe if a team from the lower half gets hot at the right time, especially in the Jotunheim.
Yep, it is still top 6 teams.
Nice.
Yep.
First and second seeds will receive a first round bye.
Right, makes sense.
Ooh.
That won't be the case for Vanaheim. Vanaheim will be top 4. It'll just be seeded away from the tournament, so that's all taken care of.
Right.
So it'll just be one team eliminated from Jotunheim and one team eliminated. I believe there's 7 teams in Midgard, so one team eliminated from Midgard as well.
Yeah, we had like 3 teams drop, so.
Yeah, that was fun to schedule around.
Speaking of, you want to get into the Midgard?
Yeah, we can go over Midgard. It was a pretty basic week, nothing much. Silver Hillbillies, I was told, was forced to forfeit to Land-Based Girls, which those 2 teams, I believe, are at the top of our standings right now, or near the top. So could play around with maybe someone getting a bye week there for the playoffs. And then we also saw Elysian having to forfeit to Band of Brothers due just to Elysian had some roster changes that they didn't get in by the Sunday at midnight Central Time.
Yeah, three people switched out, so
yeah, didn't get that in time, so sadly had to forfeit this week. That again could be 2 teams that are fighting for position there in the standings, both pretty close in records. So
Elysian. Sorry, not to cut you off, but Elysian and Band of Brothers are both at the bottom there with 1 win, so they're going to be fighting for that bottom spot at least currently.
Yeah, trying to make the playoffs, so could play out interesting there, forcing them to forfeit, but hey, it is what it is sometimes. We can move into predictions now if we want to jump into that, starting with I guess we'll start Jotunheim because
And move on from there since it's the lowest division.
yeah, we can start there.
Okay.
So we got
So the first game is Alien Tuna versus Royals.
well, I mean, I'm gonna choose the Royals. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I think I don't have much knowledge about Alien Tuna, but I do know the Royals are a good team. They have their strengths and weaknesses, but I know overall they're a pretty good team. And yeah, I think they take this set 2-0.
Double A, who do you think's gonna win this set? Alien Tuna versus Royals.
It's definitely said hard to bet against Royals. I'm pulling up their stats right now for the roll ratings, but
So they gotta be up there.
yeah, I think. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, looking at the rolls, Isle of Cats is just insane. I believe he leads. No, he doesn't. Gramick does, but
Okay, Grammick's yeah.
Gramick's nuts too. But no,
Yeah.
Isle of Cats is just insane. Just barely has the based on our rating system that we have kind of in house here. Isle of Cats second best player, and best carry by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's even a shadow of a debate.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, like you said, hard to go against Royals. I think, like you said, Alien Tuna's not terrible. I mean, McCubbin, second highest rated support.
Yeah.
So I think there's some to be said there. I believe JC's on that team, right? JC Levium. So I mean, he's third best jungle again according to our rating system. This isn't based on.
Right.
This is all the stats added together and it's kind of Kerbis set all this up, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I mean they're not a terrible team. Then the rest of their players are kind of like mid to low for their roles, but I don't think we can count them out. I mean, I think they could potentially at least take a game off in my mind.
Yeah. I'll say this: I have a lot of, and I know that he gets kind of trash talked a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen it a little bit, but I have a little bit more respect for Baza than a lot of people because he may not be the lane guy, but man, he does do a lot in team fight, and I think that's where he gets his pizzazz, you know.
Yeah, that chocolate in team fights is really really detrimental to some teams. So.
I don't know why chalk is an issue. I hate chalk, man. He's just I hate playing him and I hate playing against him. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Baza's got the follow. He's got a fan club, I swear. But yeah, I mean, Royals. I think you basically have like, I mean, they're hard carries. I love Cats, as well as Captain Care Bear's up there. We've seen him go off. Solo lane, Baza's held his own. I mean, he's the best rated solo right now, again, according to our rating system. But I think this is a hot take, but I think he's a little overrated. But I do think he's a good player. But I think his reputation is better than what he actually is. But I think he's still a solid player. Obviously, he's earned his spot as the best solo at this point, rating wise. And but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You're number 2, hey, so I won't take anything away from you there. And then Jungle does struggle a little bit on Royals, so I think if you can maybe capitalize on that, potentially it would work out. But yeah, I think Royals is hard to beat. I mean, they're up there. They're going to be hot for offense. I mean, their front line's good, but their back line is nuts.
For sure.
Yeah, I think the route to beat the Royals is the jungle.
I mean, just watch what Alien Tuna did. Or not Alien Tuna, what Midgard Serpents did. Sorry. I mean, if Alien Tuna wants to beat them, they should go back to the Animosity Twitch, watch that game over, and see how they beat them. That's a great way to start. So.
And you know what they did, in my opinion?
What's that?
They focused on towers and objectives. I mean, that second game they were down kills.
Yep.
Yep.
Or that third game. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And they
That
didn't.
third game, I mean, Cutlip played great, but they just were able to shred towers.
Yep.
They did so in one of the lanes. They won a big team fight, and then there goes a Phoenix in the end game.
Yep.
I mean,
That,
they really weren't even winning within the game other than towers.
that is one thing when playing against them I've noticed is you can get pressure in lane. Well, and this is just me as a solo laner. You get pressure in lane against Boz, and I feel like could use that to a detriment on the other team. He tries to rotate, and sometimes his rotations are a little too early, and they might not pay off if you're calling them correctly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
guess now we move on to the next game.
Yeah, the next game, it's interesting to me. We got Helix Fallen versus Helix Housewives here.
Ooh.
Two teams that are kind of fighting for position, I guess you could say, on the lower half or middle part of the standings. Looking to kind of get on like their right foot, I guess. If I had to take one, I think I would take Housewives in this one. Probably 2-1.
I'm going to go with Housewives as well, and mostly because when we played Helix Fallen, they had two subs. Care Bear, Royals mid, ended up playing solo, and their support, I forget, Corgi, Party Time Corgi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
played jungle, and so I have no idea what that team's solo and jungle are like. So
Well, they've been swapping around a bunch, and they just picked up some new players for this upcoming week. So
Yeah.
so maybe their like communication isn't on quite yet. Plus, one person I've been impressed with in this league is I played him a couple times in scrims and just randomly around. And Nexale is really a solo laner that I'm looking at.
buddy.
That's he's coming up. He's coming up, and I love Nexale. He's
Love
such a
that
nice
guy.
That guy is awesome.
Nexale, probably the nicest guy in the community. No offense,
Yeah.
AA. But Nexale's just a great dude.
wow, I'm right here too. No, I think there's a few people that maybe don't like me, but you know, it happens when you run things. But yeah, no, I think honestly, you know what? I'm gonna take Fallen.
Ooh.
Ooh, spicy.
So Fallen, they're moving around. They're trying, just like you said, they're trying to find a foothold. They're gonna switch. So they picked up a guy called Chaos 2 Knight, and they switched Kick Rocks from mid to. So that Chaos Knight's gonna play in mid. Kick Rocks is gonna move to jungle, and Tilted Old Man's gonna go to support.
Okay.
Tilted Old Man, in his words, I just sub for these guys. They're really cool, and they have the best mentality out of any team I've seen. You know, they are struggling stats wise,
Right.
but they're so cool. I mean, they're looking to just get better. They're playing as a team.
Nice.
Talk to Kick Rocks. You know, he's got a dream of going pro. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's the best mentality you can ever have. So super nice guys. It was really fun playing with you, guys. If you listen to this, but I think they have the right mentality. They just need to find their little niche and execute it correctly. And I think moving around to Kick Rocks, I've seen him play jungle before, has done a decent job. Don't know anything about this Chaos Knight, Chaos 2 Knight. But I believe looking at his Smite Guru, pretty decent player, so should hold his own. And then Tilted, I think, played, I want to say, he played jungle last game, and this is 2 games ago now, by the way. But again, still trying to find his spot. Was kind of played Smite a bunch, left the game for a little bit, and came back. In his words, he's washed. But I think he just needs to find a place, and I think support will do that. So I think if they can kind of hold their own in early game and find their positioning and not being, they got down in early game a lot. So I think if they can get through that, they'll be able to kind of push back and potentially take a few games off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got to get moving on to this next game. But with that being said, AA, I love what you're saying about them. but Housewives got Gramick, and if that dude gets Fenrir, I
Oh,
don't.
God.
I do not care.
God.
So
Yeah,
that's all I'm
I've
gonna say.
I've been on the receiving end of that. Yeah, it was not fun.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not excited for that.
Oh man. But then we got probably the biggest game for this division for Jotunheim of the week. Midgard Serpents now the number 1 team in the standings for Jotunheim, playing the number 3 team, Fagard, which Pestnews is the solo laner for.
Get my bias out of the way first before you two go for your predictions.
Well, I mean, you go ahead and you can predict first, because I think I already know who you're gonna choose to win or predict to win.
Two
If you choose opposite of what I'm thinking, then you're crazy. So
2-0 Vanguard, baby.
2-0 Vanguard, all right. We can predict that for you.
I'm excited really because Awen and I, we were initially in the league, we're on the same team. I was in the support role and he was in the solo. And then Mai just saw that I positioned like a solo laner, so she's like, "Yeah, you should probably switch." um, yeah, going with him, I think he's gonna be one of the top solo laners. He's just a nice guy. At least I really enjoy talking with him. We're decent friends, so I'm excited for the matchup. I think we're gonna have a good time.
Nice.
If he plays Yorm, I'm gonna make fun of him because Yorm is cringe.
He plays Yorm every week.
Yorm
I swear.
handicap. Yorm
So
handicap.
he pulls up the Yorm. I'm just
Yorm
gonna be like,
handicap. Yorm crutch.
I thought we were gonna have such a chat lane, and then you pull out the Yorm. But that's the one I'm excited for. And now with the emergence of Cutlip, I'm excited to see what our Necro can do with him, and see how that matchup goes. And then, just to let everyone know, we do have a roster swap on our team.
Oh
we
yeah.
we are getting Zavoxis into the carry role, and Axis has been moved to a sub.
Yes, that did happen. So it'll be interesting to see Zavoxis in his first week. Double A, what do you think of this matchup?
All right. I do think Midgard Serpents will probably be the winners here. I think it is going to come down to solo lane. Little nod at Pest, but
Ooh.
I think if you
Pressure.
can beat A1, yeah, and get pressure in solo lane, I think it'll definitely help you swing that way. But yeah, I mean, and Cutlip, you're gonna have to play against. But Necromage is Necromage. How do I say the man's name?
I just call him Necro, but I think it's Necromage. But
Yeah, it's not
All right, I'm gonna call him Necro. Good idea. But Necro, I mean, second highest rated mid. Sorry. So I mean, the man can hold his own. He's played great. I mean, when we played him this last week, really hard to play against. So I think he can hold his own. Maybe not having pressure in his lane, but I think as long as he doesn't get rolled, which I don't think he will, there's definitely a chance for you guys. But I mean, the overwhelming power of the Midgard Serpents, they're kind of they found their place a little bit here.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of ready to steamroll the rest of the roster here for the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say, I think it's gonna be close. I think it'll be a close set, but based off of what I've seen the last couple weeks, I think Midgard will pull this one out, just because it's such short notice. I don't know if Fagard has a lot of time to prepare,
Especially with
a roster change. I think it'll be probably a 2-1 set, but I think Midgard will take this one away, which will probably lock him up for first place in the division with this win this week. So be a big win for him.
Yeah, that's kind of an upset.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. One thing is very interesting is our jungle matchup. And I think you see between the games that we initially played and the games that are coming, like the last game that we played against you guys, I think we've seen Jonesy transition more into a carry, like a win condition, instead of being that tanky boy trying to steal your red. So I think that could be an interesting change up for us.
Yeah.
Well, and adding Zvoxis, I mean, from what I've seen from him in the past, he was on your team, right, J2?
He was on our team last year when we won the Benevolence division. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this man, hey, he's a champion. But I think he can hold his own. Definitely, I think he'll definitely be not to. I think Axis did great, especially maybe there were some doubters against him at the beginning of the season, but I think he's proved them wrong. But even him moving out of the position, I think Zavoxis is going to be an awesome addition to your team. I think it'll boost you guys even more.
And I'd just like to say this: it was nothing to do with how good Axis was comparatively. Hold on, son. And it
God
was
damn,
both,
bro.
yeah.
This guy smokes like 4 packs a day.
I'm saying, dude. Jeez.
But it's more to do with playstyle meshing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
that just we felt that he meshed with the way we wanted to play the game a little bit better. And we're trying to be champions, so we made the change and pulled the trigger.
Makes sense.
Mm.
All right.
Those tough decisions suck, but
Yeah.
And that's
you gotta make them.
guy, and he's a great player, but it's just the way you need to play the game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alrighty. I think we'll move on to Midgard now.
Yep.
Starting out, we have Lords of Ulster versus Firelink 5. Two teams. I believe right now they're sitting kind of in the
You
upper
want me to
half.
pull it up?
Yeah, I'll look at it. I know.
Firelink's 2-2. Lords of Ulster 4-1.
Yeah. Yeah, Lords of Ulster second. Firelink's fifth. The schedule or the standings got a little bit messed up from all the teams dropping and all those games not counting, but two pretty solid teams, I'd say, from what I've seen so far. If I had to choose one to win this week, I think it'll probably go to 3, but I'd probably give the edge to Lords of Ulster. Just, I mean, to be fair, they are, 4-1, so I think I'd give it to them.
Yeah. I'm really interested in the matchups. Like, I know Lords of Ulster really like to get that dual lane pressure. Their dual lane is pretty aggressive. But the game we casted a game of Firelink 5 actually, J2.
Did, and White Ombre, the jungler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was going at it. He was insane that game.
That was such an insane. I was freaking out on that set game. And yeah, just running it down and the domination. So I'm excited to see how that works and if he can exert that much pressure from the jungle position to get his team to win.
For sure. I think all of Firelink is console as well, so it's cool to see them.
Yeah.
It's cool to see them kind of like, I guess, succeeding in a way. Like White Ombre had great success that set that me and Pest casted. And it's always cool to see like console players like that, and that we have some console teams in this. So, Pest, who do you say you'd give the edge to?
I'm gonna go with Lords of Ulster at 2-1.
Okay. Double A thoughts on this matchup? No,
I mean, yeah, Curvis, my admin, my coach as well, for my team. But yeah, I think I don't want to go against him, but I'm gonna go Lords.
Oh man, he's gonna.
I think. I think. All of Firelink. They're both solid teams, 100%.
Yeah.
But the difference is, can Kiki really pop off? Kiki, Jiki. is like the best console ADCA I've seen in a long time. Kind of really showed that off last season, and he's been great this season, but not as hard carry,
Yeah.
or not as much as of a hard carry this season yet. So I think if he can kind of get back to that, but I mean they are facing off against in the dual lane Flamio Hotman, top rated support. So I mean he's going to be a tough matchup along with um is it
I
Inigo
believe it's
over
Indigo. I
in
think they have both
yeah
top-rated players in the dual lane,
yeah that's going to be a
along
tough
with
dual lane.
yeah, it's not gonna be fun for them for sure.
And I think and I'm personally a very big it's 1 2 inch tomahawk. I always call them 12-inch tomahawk, but it's 1 2 inch tomahawk. I'm a big fan of his, but he does have a very limited
God pool.
god pool.
I've heard of this. I have heard of
Yeah.
the three god pool or something like that.
He loves. Who do you think's his top pick?
Ganesh. I think I've heard-
Ganesh is up there, but
I've
no,
heard-
this man plays Hercules any chance he can.
Oh, but Hercules is fun, so I respect that though.
So, but yeah, so he's always playing Hercules. But it's so fun to watch him do it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just aggressive. But yeah, I think unfortunately with the dual lane and even the jungle underclass hero being super highly rated, that it's
White
it's
Ombre right
it's
behind
hard.
him, though.
That's true. That's true. Only down by 1 rating point.
Yeah.
So got to give a little more credit to him. But yeah, I think Lords will probably take it. I agree. I think it'll go to a third game though.
Yeah, it'll be a good set. Moving on now, we have the two undefeated teams. Silver Hillbilly Gankers, who are 2-0 with the kind of standings reset there. They're only have one set under. Well, actually no, because
They did just lose. Yeah.
they just did have to take a forfeit, so they're no longer undefeated. But in sets they've played, they're undefeated, so we'll go with that. And then my team, Volnus Mortale, who is 4-0 as of right now.
Bad team.
What'd you say? Go ahead, Double A.
So just a bad team, I don't know.
Yeah, we're really bad. So
Just scrimmed you guys. You're pretty weak.
yeah. It was a rough scrim for us, So
I heard you FF'd. I don't know, but
yeah, we FF'd. I'll get my prediction out the way. I'm saying my team's gonna take it. Just straight up, I think we'll win the set. I'm gonna say 2-0 just because it's my team, but hey, you guys can think something different if you want.
I'll just say, as much as I want to say, SHG, just to give Arxel some reason to not like me for a week. I'll have to go with Volnus 2-1. I'll give it a little spice. I'll give
2-1, Hop.
Oh, now I'm gonna have Arxel like in my chat going, "What are you doing?"
yeah. I agree. I think you're gonna get cocky and lose a game, but I do think you'll win. If you want my hard prediction.
What you mean get cocky and lose a game?
I don't know. You guys.
know,
I think
bro.
your heads are too big. I don't know.
We don't ever pick anything that does not fit inside the role. Double A. All right.
Yeah, right. You're always really clear cut.
Yeah. Our picks are never flex. They're always straightforward.
Let's see. What are your ratings right now for your team?
Oh, I'm like last place or something. So I know Arxel's number 1 mid, and that's true because
Arxel's number 1 mid, but Lukey Pookie's right below him.
That's true. 1 and 2 mid lane. That's gonna be a fun matchup.
In talks, is really good. I mean, that man has a almost 90% win rate in arena, which is disgusting.
That's terrible. But guess who's behind him? Havoc's 19. Yes, sir.
That's true.
Yes, sir.
Let's
I'm
take a
not.
look. Yeah, look at jungle.
Oh yeah,
J2's fourth.
we're not gonna talk about that.
Uh,
12 gauge is right above you.
I'm
So
terrible, dude. Yeah, dude, we're all ranked one below except for Barksel, I think.
gotcha.
Well, yeah, cause Senpai is one above Vaseline, barely
Yeah,
though.
just barely. Yeah.
And then, oh no, Sold Short's above. Who is their ADC? Italian Breadman? Or no,
Root
no, it's
beer.
Root Beer. Root Beer. I'm sorry. Sold Short's one above Root Beer. Yes. So should be a good game. All seem to be pretty even, but I mean, obviously, I got to go with my boys. I can't go into a week saying, nah, yeah, we're losing. You know, like that's kind of messed up. So
Really? I don't know. I went into our stream today going, "Hey guys, we're gonna get the shit kicked out of us,
well,
but we'll have a good time."
double A. Did you have a good time?
No,
Oh well, I guess at least you're positive about it.
I got to wave to you at one point. That's about it.
Don't worry, I'll
But
put some clips up in the podcast when I'm editing
oh
our stream.
boy, please don't.
um. Alrighty, so moving on, kind of coming towards the end here, but I guess predictions for the Vanguard Bifrost tournament that's coming up. I think it's going to be a multiple week thing, but I mean, anyone have
Yeah.
any like clear cut maybe top teams that are be put into Asgard maybe, or teams they want to talk about, who they think might win it out of those
well,
top teams?
I know you have an idea.
Well, I think this is their team name. But my predictions is that Profits, I think they're the 4th seed, is going to win the entire tournament.
Yep.
Profits, I believe, is the team with.
Well, can I spoil something?
Go ahead.
They have already played their match because they're allowed to play it early during
Oh,
this week.
yeah, I know about that actually.
And they did.
I was
Do
spectating.
you want me to say? You want me to say who wins? You want me to hold off?
I don't think it matters if you say who wins. I guess. Yeah, go ahead. Say
All
who
right,
wins.
I'll say it. So yeah, we've only had one team play so far for the tournament, play early, and it was Profits versus Gumbo's team. Great name, by the way.
Yep.
Profits did win.
Yeah.
Not like crazy matches. First game seemed like a stomp, but not terrible. But second game, pretty close. So I mean, it was a good game at least.
Yeah. I just have to. I gotta go with my boys, Cure and Sny. You know. Glicky gang, as we like to say. So.
Oh boy.
I know Double A loves that term. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I have the. Do you guys have the schedule? You want me to say the schedule?
Yeah, I'm on
I
the
have it pulled
Bifrost
up.
round 1.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm our server, our team. We have a lot of Destiny in, and
Yep.
from seeing them play, I don't know if they're. I don't think they're gonna make Asgard, and I think they're gonna be in Vanaheim. But I feel like there's some teams that they could put up that are gonna be in Asgard that they could put up a really good fight and try to push towards it.
Yeah, I mean those guys. I love Destiny. I haven't talked to those guys in a while, but I mean, coming from they were bottom division back when it was Benevolence,
Yep.
and now they're up technically 2 divisions. I mean, these guys been playing together. They're super cool, and it's really fun to see them kind of stay in the server and just get better and improve. And
Mm.
they're going up against Helix Prime. Any thoughts on that?
Bro, I don't know anything about Helix Prime. I'm gonna be honest. I believe they were an
No.
Asgard team, though, right? Coming into this.
No,
Oh, they were a
You-
Vanaheim
you-
team.
they were a Vanaheim team.
Okay.
It's Wingman Ghost, Poppy, Helanu, however you want to say that name. Very, and they don't have Sark anymore. They did have Sark, but I think they just dropped him.
Hmm.
Mm.
But anyway, that's kind of their main roster.
Okay. Well,
I-
that should be a good game then, because I mean, I really don't know. I know the Destiny guys. I don't know really that team, so it should be cool, especially if they're both in Vanaheim. Hopefully, it's
I
a
think
closer.
a major thing with Destiny is if their mid can get a comfort pick because I heard he has a little bit of a smoke.
God pool, yeah.
A small god pool. No one said my voice cracked out there for a second.
Yeah. Some of these other teams, I guess the matchups have changed, right? Because 5 Toxic dropped or something.
Yeah,
Something
they
dropped.
did. So the last two matchups are, well, we'll start with Double Jungle and Helix Paladins. So that's two former Asgard teams playing each other.
Okay.
Ooh.
I feel like I've heard Double Jungle. I mean, they're coming in the first seed, so
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
have to
They're pretty.
they're really good.
I'd have to expect them to win. I just based off of that. I think I've heard that they're pretty good. I haven't seen them play, so it's hard to predict. Because I go off of what I've seen, not really what I've heard too much. But
Sure.
I've heard great things about them, so I'd have to expect them to at least pick up this win week 1 of the tournament.
I would probably say the same. The only thing that kind of differentiate, if I can say that word correctly, is Cryo's really good for Helix Paladin.
Yeah.
He's their ADC,
Okay.
and he can hard carry a game really well. But I think as a whole, yeah, Double Jungle's got a better team for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you can also see how impactful having the top ADC in your league is in your division, because a lot of your top teams tend to have the top ADC.
Not my team. Sold Short sucks.
Just,
Sorry, Joel. um, and then we got. Is it still tactically inting versus VTubers?
yep.
Okay, that's tactically inting's Ying and Recurry and all them, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I kind of expect them to win. I feel like from what I've seen.
I'm just saying this just so Yakiri sends me a message, because I don't know. I was in a VC one time and I just started, hitting on him for no reason. I
Nice.
hope Yakiri feeds, but I hope they win.
Okay, that's interesting take. Interesting take. Any other thoughts from Double A or Preston?
I know they've played in the past.
I think tactically inting won, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe they won 2-0 even.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because VTubers is probably up there for top teams in the
Yeah.
division too.
I've seen VTubers, their one game they played Destiny, and it didn't really look like too close. VTubers looked like they really had Destiny's numbers that game, so I was impressed. But I don't know.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, I've heard that other team is pretty solid, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
they definitely are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely. So let me look at the rosters, but I believe like attackically inting, I would not be surprised if they get knocked up to Asgard.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too.
I think they're really good. For Asgard teams, I don't think there's anybody that I would be saying gets dropped down.
Right.
As long as Helix Paladins, which I have faith that they will play the way they have been, they'll stay. Gumbo's team's really good. Double Jungle's really good. Prophets, I mean, Prophets did beat Gumbo's team, so maybe looking at that, it's gonna be kind of a fight between Prophets and Tactically Inting, I think
Profits
then,
winning the whole thing.
or Gumbo's team and Tactically Inting.
Profits winning the whole thing. They take in the whole division, the whole tournament. That's my prediction. My hot take of the week. Profits got this.
So it's gonna be 4-4, right? I believe so.
I believe that was kind of the
So who do you think is gonna be in? Who's gonna be Asgard? Do you think in your mind?
Well, I think you gotta go. I gotta go Profits, and then probably Double Jungle, from what I've heard. Those
Tactically inting.
See, I want to put tactically inting in there, right? But
Where do they fit?
But exactly, right? Because you still have, I mean, Gumbo's team, even though they lost to Profits, is still pretty good. You still have Helix Paladins coming in, and even I believe Helix Prime was a Vanaheim team, or were they Asgard?
Helix Prime is Vanaheim.
Okay, cool. So then probably I don't know if they get bumped up either, but like Paladins, right? Probably gonna stay.
Yeah, I think in my mind the one that could get knocked out is Paladins,
Probably.
but they're still really strong, so I don't know that it's possible.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough if you have to lose 3 games to get dropped down.
Yeah, and you'll be playing. So if you lose a game, so like game one gets played, right?
Right.
If you win, you play another team that won game one, and then you keep. It's Swiss format. If anyone knows what Swiss format is, but so if you lose a game, you're going to be playing somebody with the same record as you.
Right.
So,
So
I
like,
mean,
realistically, like one of the Asgard teams is basically gonna have to lose all 3 weeks.
I don't. I see.
Or
I
whatever it
think.
is.
Don't quote me on that, but they're going to have to lose a few games. Yeah,
Like,
or sets, I should say. But yeah,
right,
they're going to have to lose a few
to
sets.
drop down. So it's gonna be kind of tough, but I would not be surprised if I saw Profits won. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm saying I think they could take on Double Jungle, and from what I've heard, Double Jungle is supposed to be the best team in the whole server. So they might take someone's spot. They might, just because if they win the tournament, I don't think you can put them in Vanaheim. Like even if the team doesn't lose 3, but
Well, and technically, the tournament won't have one winner. It'll have
right,
4 winners, 4 losers, kind of. But it's really just 4 people get placed here, 4 people
yeah,
get placed there.
yeah,
But yeah, I think I mean, if they can be Gumbo's team, I think they're definitely going to be placed in Asgard.
yeah.
So that would leave VTubers, Destiny, Helix Prime, and then did you think Tactically Inting would stay in Vanaheim?
I I think Tactical Inting has a chance to move up. I just haven't seen enough from really anyone in this whole division. I mean, the team I've seen the most play is Profits, and they're brand new. So,
Right.
like out of them, I can't be for sure, but I think Tactically Inting could move up. If it's 4-4, I mean,
Oh, actually, you know what else? I Love Dragons, which is a team with Spexy Beast and
right,
Nico Master, and those guys, they get a bye as well. First
right,
round bye. So
right.
actually, it's going to be. It won't be 4-4. It'll be
5,
5-4. Is that right? Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So
Probably be 5 in Vanaheim, I would assume, right?
yeah, it'll be 5 in Vanaheim.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Bye week's interesting though, how that plays out for it. So
Mhm.
I believe it's the whatever team has the worst record gets the bye for that round.
okay.
But
Hmm.
yeah, it's tricky when you got an odd number like that. But
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it'll be cool. I
shout
think.
out to Kirby, he's figured it out. So
Yeah, I mean yeah, he's nuts with some of this stuff.
oh yeah, he's been a big help to the server for sure.
Yeah. All right. Are there any final thoughts? Really, kind of be wrapping up here for the first episode.
Is there any standout? Well, no. I guess we talked about that when we reviewed the games. Never mind.
All right. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
This section would probably typically be taken up by either the top plays if somebody submits
Oh,
them,
right. I was gonna get to that.
or questions. But seeing as though this is the first episode, we
Sure.
ain't got questions.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. We
I
want
can give my little talk about the server if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So I mean, hopefully, if you're listening to this, I mean, you're probably already in the league, but I'll give you a little background as well. So, I believe the servers started in, and I can get it, but it's only been, it's less than a year, I believe, that the server's been around. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's been around for a year. The whole goal was to get a place for people to play in a competitive environment, which I think we've done that so far. We're going to continue to do that. Trying to get as much balancing as possible. That's why we're so strict this season. But we're really just kind of trying to let people feel like they're playing somewhere important. If they're not playing the SCC, but we hope they feel like it. But yeah, I think we're just trying to be a friendly environment, non-toxic. We're trying to be a community as well. We don't want to just be this lifeless league. That not to throw shade anywhere, but that we've seen kind of elsewhere. We want to have a community. I think it's awesome that like a podcast like this even happens. That people are that Pest and J2 are that interested in our community that they want to make a podcast, talk about what's going on in the league, and yeah. So I mean, if somehow you're listening to this, you aren't in the server, please go ahead and join. We'll be starting our next season sometime around, I want to say season 1 in late April for season 3, and then a month or two later we'll start for season 2. Month or two later from that will be season 3. And yeah, we got in-houses now and new in-houses, and really just trying to improve the server as time goes on here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, I think you're doing a great job, especially with pretty much only you for the most part. I mean, you, Kerbis, I had a couple little helpers along the way, but
yeah,
nothing too crazy. I mean, but I think you built a pretty solid foundation. It's only going up from here, so.
Hope so. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
And you guys were when we floated the idea around in general chat, you guys were very responsive to it. And we got on it pretty quick because I think it was only like Wednesday that this started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're always open to new ideas,
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to be wrapping up. If you guys have any questions you want us to answer on the podcast, always send that to me or Pestnews on Discord. Same thing with top plays. Don't have a set number for that yet, but if you guys have a cool clip you want to share, probably keep it at 5 or below. Kind of depends on how many people want to participate and be featured on it. Other than that, though, I think we're all good for this one.
Yep. I would say this is when we say goodbye.
All right. See you guys next week.